Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back! So look what followed me home today from Long and McQuaid. The Alesis Nitro Mesh electric drum kit. Been wanting to learn drums for a while, and I want my own set. I used to have the church's Alesis set here for a little while, and got it all figured out for the wiring and stuff for them, and then we took her back. The kit was a little big for my room, and so I also didn't want something that big. And this is an 8-piece kit, and it was only $500, which isn't bad, considering what you get. So I say let's get this puppy out of the box and get her set up and give her a run, see what she's like. Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. So, it's unboxed and set up. Anyways, I've been having a little bit of fun with this since I started the unboxing process. For you, this has all been instant, but for me, it's been about 2 days. Anyways, I was in at Long McQuaid today, because if you watched my video previous to this, I rented an Alesis Sample Pad 4, which is a really cool toy. So if you're like into percussion and stuff like that, great little tool for that. It adds more to your kit at the same time. There's different ways you can mount this thing too. Like you can put it on your kit if you get the right kind of bracket. And the one bracket that they had, because I was in there today obviously, it would have gone on the side, but then I'm like, over here, or I'm, over here, but not quite. It might have not have even worked for length. I don't know. But what we did come up with in the store was a little solution. So I picked up a music stand that the top comes off, like the whole top end, and then you just pull the plug. And the mounting kit for the Alesis Sample Pad 4 is like a bracket with a shaft down below. So a couple of rounds of Gorilla Tape, popped it into the shaft nice and snug, and then there's another lip too on the mount. So Gorilla Taped around that, and yeah, it's not moving. It's solid as a rock. So it keeps it as a separate entity too, which works out really good for me, because once I learned how to do this percussion stuff with a lot of the songs we do in church, where I can add in the right sounds, it wouldn't take me much to stop playing guitar, as long as we have our worship leader with us at the same time, because I play offset, and then I could do some percussion stuff on this for the different songs off and on, right? So that's kind of a cool thing. But anyways, to the Alesis kit, I'm still learning lots about this thing, so please download the manual. It's a free download if you want to know everything about this kit, but I can tell you what I do know so far, and I will also stop the camera, restart, and give you a close-up of the panel and show you about how to program this thing from what I've learned so far. But anyway, so we've got our hi-hat. Now it's controlled by a foot switch down below. This kit's about $500 Canadian. Okay, so it's not an expensive high-end kit, and I needed something more compact, because our church's kit, I could have brought it home just to use it, but it's a lot bigger kit. And also Alesis, very nice kit though. This is the Nitro Mesh, so the heads are mesh, and they're adjustable, so you can, tighten or loosen for the kind of rebound that you want on your sticks, which works out really good, because you can't do that with the solid pad ones. And the mesh is more responsive, like a real kit, like a real acoustic set, right? Whoop. So this is our ride, crash. Now the crash has a choke on it too. Now there's an area right in the front where you'll see like little dots here. That's where you actually grab to choke it. So anywhere within there, because if you go outside of there, it's not going to choke. So and that doesn't choke, and the ride doesn't choke. So your crash is the only one that chokes. Now you can put on a secondary crash, which I may do down the line, depending on how much it costs me. And you can put on another tom as well, which I'll probably end up doing too. And that'll be cool. And it'll all fit within the space of the unit, so that's actually really good. Now, as far as the kick drum goes, it's down here. Okay, and it's pretty heavy duty. And this thing actually comes with the foot pedal, right? And you do get a set of sticks with this thing. So you get everything ready to go, except for you don't get an amp with it, of course. So that's like one major thing that you don't get. But you don't actually need the amp, but because there is a headphone jack on here, and you can use headphones. You can also hook this into your PA as well. It has a, I think this one, yeah, this has got left and right for stereo, or a left mono out, which you can still control left and right panning on your mixer, not a big deal. Okay, I have it set up for mono out because I'm kind of shy on chords right now until I make some new ones or buy some. But anyhow, I'm new to drums, so take it easy on me for now. But I've been wanting to get into drums for quite a while, and I think that learning another instrument too also makes me more useful in the music part, especially at church. You know, our drummer isn't always there, and you know, if I can learn to play the drums, then I could also take some times and just play the drums, because drums really add a fullness to the music that really it helps. It's better, right? So anyways, I'm gonna play a little bit here for you of what I got so far. Now the snare is also dual, okay? So you can do rim shots. Alright, now I'm going to grab the camera, I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to show you how to program this thing. I don't have much for skills right now, so it's not going to be a huge demo of that, but let me show you about how to program this thing. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the camera is getting blinded by the display. It is a pretty bright display. I don't know if it dims down. I still got to go through the manual myself. But there are different songs built into this thing too, apparently. There's 40 drum kits total, and you can manipulate any of them any way you want. There's also a user kit area as well that you can have fun with. But to program your sounds the way you want them, you press the voice button here. And then in the kick drum here, it's number 10, voice 10. So if we want something different, 11, 13, 14, okay? Now I like it on 10. So let's hit the snare. It's voice 75. The rim is 53. So let's mess around with the rim a bit. Okay, so let's give that a little go there. Okay, and you can see it, well, I don't know if you can see, but it changes. Because we're in the programming mode, it changes each time I do something. Like there's our crash cymbal, it's voice 226. Our hi-hat is 01. Okay, tom 1 is 116 voice. Tom 2 is 117, and 118 for your big bass drum. And then the kick is 10. Anyways, so when you're done and you figure, all right, I've got it the way I want it, just press save. It'll flash. Press save again. You're done. Now let's go into the beginning stages here. Okay, this is kit number 1. Okay, kit 2, rim shot. Now you can also take your cymbals and you can turn them into any sound you want that's within the programming, which is really a lot of fun. Kit 3. Four. 5. Now let's go backwards. They turned that one off for kit 40. 39. Let's try 35. Okay, so that's the basics of pretty much what I know right now. There is a volume control here that controls your output, of course. You can crank things up or keep them quieter. Now, just a quick note on this stuff. Let me actually move the camera back to where it was. Okay, so like I said, you don't get an amplifier with this thing. You can use headphones with it right away. Private listening, nobody hears a peep out of you, which is kind of good if you don't want to upset people in the house or disturb the neighbors too much. Of course, why don't you want to disturb the neighborhood? Anyhow, so I'm going to let you in on a little bit about this type of equipment when it comes to electronic drums, from what I know and I have some experience with. When it comes to an amplifier, you are best to get the proper amplifier for electronic drums. Okay, and that would include our sample pad as well. You need the proper amp because of the frequency differences and to get the sound quality that obviously has to be there to sound right. So if you use a guitar amp, over time, at lower volumes it's not so bad, but when you start getting higher volumes, you're going to start damaging your amp, because guitar amps are not made to throw out bass either. Okay, I don't think I would recommend a bass guitar amp either. I would recommend specifically an amp that can and is made to handle electronic drums and these pad things properly. Okay, because they have the proper speakers in them, etc., and they can do that. I did a bit of a demo with the Alesis pad with the sound going through my trainer amplifier, and if you check out my video on the Alesis Sample Pad 4, you'll hear the difference between going through the system that I am versus going through that amp, and how poor of quality a guitar amp really is, and that's at a lower volume. Plus you get a lot of noise too that you're not going to want to have. So that's another thing to take into consideration, is noise factors. It almost sounds like a bad grounding system is what it does. And I haven't done that actually with the trainer with this kit, but we can do that while we're here and see if it actually does the same thing. Now I'm going through a home stereo, which is a Kenwood system. It puts out a little over 500 watts, and I've got Paradigm monitor speakers, which are just outstanding. I mean, if you were in this room, you would hear a much, much better quality sound reproduction. But I am recording this on the camcorder, so you get an idea of my room acoustics and the equipment I'm actually going through. So nothing's been processed through the computer, right? Because all my equipment actually runs through, including my stereo. My mixer goes to my stereo, all my stuff goes into my mixer, and then everything goes direct into my computer when I want to record on the computer, which is awesome. But when I'm just kind of like jamming out, I'm just going through the stereo, and the computer's not even involved in any of this. But I do have a lot more to learn. Obviously, there's like some kind of a learning system in this too that helps you to learn, and it gives you progress like slow, good, and fast. And there's all kinds of stuff in this thing that I just barely getting into, right? But for the basics of what I've been able to show you so far, I mean, it's a really good drum kit, and it's very inexpensive too to get into. I think, $500 is more than worth it. It does have aluminum tubing too. I think older Alesis kits may have had plastic tubing, but because I know my son had an Alesis kit, and apparently he told me he sold it. So I don't remember per se if he had plastic tubing or not, but this is actually metal tubing. I've checked it thoroughly. It's actually metal. So it's going to be very rugged, durable. You can move the thing around. It's not a big deal. This would be a great sized kit in a church, because most church stages are small, right? Unless, of course, you're in a massive church. But in our church, this would be an ideally perfect size kit, along with the Alesis kit our church does have, which is much larger than this, and we still have room for it on stage. It's not a big deal, right? And the cool factor of electronic drums, too, over acoustics is you can assign any sound you want to any one of your pieces, right? And you can also have double kick. So you're thinking like your double kick bass drum down below, right? You can double kick it. You just switch your hi-hat to the pedal going to the same sound, which you can do, right? And then you go type of thing, which is really cool, actually. So there is some kit expandability to this. Awesome. Construction is built very well. Even all the plastic corners and the mounts, they're really good, high quality. They're thick plastic for these. They have rotator locker clips, so you can go into different positions and click it in place, lock it, and it's not going to move. So you can, beat on these things pretty good. And the mesh you can beat on pretty hard too. Now, sticks did come with this, but I bought myself a pair of 7As because I wanted a thinner, lighter stick, especially for starting off. I didn't want to go too heavy. And even though the mesh stuff has got a good rep in the industry right now, from what I've been seeing and hearing, because I haven't heard any bad reports yet, but I'm going to search. I think the mesh is actually one of the best ways to go. Because of that rebound factor. Like if you need to go, you can. With the more rubber heads, they're not as responsive as the mesh. And you can tighten and loosen this mesh just like a real acoustic kit would be, because they give you a drum key, and you can do that, and you can give it more attention or less to your preference, right? So that's also an awesome feature, because you're not going to be able to do that to rubber padded kits, right? So I think you get an awful lot for your money, including the choke is nice. I like that choke idea. Overall, I would definitely have to put this kit easy 4 out of 5. I think it deserves definitely that. It probably deserves a little bit more than that, but we'll see what happens after some long term. So in a few months from now, I'm going to do an update review to let you know if I had any problems with the system, how well is the mesh holding up to my everyday beatings, And I'm not beating the daylights out of these very hard, but I am still being a little aggressive. You know, but the lighter sticks really helps with being able to, you know, hit a little harder, and you're still not putting as much force as, you know, you would be with like 5B sticks or anything heavier. And the sticks they give you with it are actually pretty heavy duty sticks. And I already have a set of 5Bs too, so I got like 2 extra sets of sticks other than these. But I like these. I'm really getting hooked on these lighter sticks. But I do want a set of fire sticks. I know they're more of a gimmick than anything, but they are kind of cool and fun, and they light up blue, so I like that because it'll match the blue of that. So fun for night jamming. But anyways, that's my thoughts and feelings on the kit. Now, like I said, I got this at Long and McQuaid. It was $500, which I felt was like a really good deal. Even though I was kind of, you know, it's like anything else you buy new, it's like, am I really spending my money on something decent here? But then once you get it home, you unpack it, you set it up, you know, and you start messing with it, you know, it's great, you know. For a $500 price range kit, yes, there are limitations. There's no SD card slot so that you can, you know, jam a bunch more stuff into this. But that's okay, right? It gets you going, and there's a lot in here to keep you going for a long time. So, where's the kit usable for? Well, it's great for beginners, great for intermediate players. I think it's a great kit for advanced players that are going to be playing in like a church, because churches don't need, you know, fancy, you know, 400-piece kits, you know what I mean? They need, you know, a kit for their drummer, obviously, or the drummer brings his own, whichever, right? You know, our drummer has an acoustic kit that he leaves there to use, and we do have an electronic Alesis kit that we're still got to work out some programming on. I've worked out all the chords and where they go, but I still got to, I guess, work out some programming. So now that I have my own Alesis kit, I can learn how to program this, and then it'll be an easy transition, and I can program proper kit setups into the other one. Because our drummer doesn't have the experience with electronic kits, and I'm getting experience with them, so that's a bonus, you know. It's kind of like the more you get to know, the more useful you become, right? Anyhow, great set. I did not buy a throne. I have a piano bench I'm sitting on, so you don't actually need a drummer's throne if you don't want one, because they can be a little pricey, but if that's what you prefer, go for it. I'm actually fine with this piano type seat, because it's not a big one. It's actually, you know, it's about maybe, I don't know, 14 inches, you know, maybe around there. Well, the width is the length of a drumstick, so there you go. And it is comfy, and I can lower it or make it higher if I needed to, but I think I'm pretty much at a good height here. So anyways, that's my demo review for you guys. So if you live in Canada, do go to Long McQuaid if you're looking at a beginner kit for sure. This is definitely in the beginner range. I think it could definitely suit the intermediate range as well. Professional, not a chance, okay? I mean, pro players on tour, no way. They need so much more than what this even has to offer. But for beginners, it is a awesome, outstanding kit. And like I said, even the intermediate players would probably like this too, especially for, you know, a small kit at home even. You know, intermediate players would like something like this if they don't have the space. My room in here is like, 4, 8, 10 by 2, 4, 6, 8, about 12, about 10 by 12 roughly in here, and I got a lot of stuff in here, right? So, and I'm surprised I still actually can see my floor. I have so much stuff scattered around, but it works, right? So anyways, there will be a link in the description below if you are in Canada looking at this specific kit from Alesis. That link will be in the description below. Feel free to browse Long McQuaid's website as well, because you can order online if you don't have a store close. Although they do have over 80 stores Canada-wide, so there should be somewhere close. But if not, you can order stuff online and they can ship it right to your door too, which is great. And they have awesome, awesome warranties, especially their performance warranties. They're just amazing warranties. Anyways, so I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm gonna go jam it. Hey guys, little extra clip I forgot to do actually in the main part of the video. Thought I'd just integrate it in. This is what this kit will sound like going through a guitar amp. Now this is a Trainer TVM 15 watt amplifier, which is battery powered or plugging in the wall, and I use it as an aux speaker, but this is what the kit actually sounds like through that speaker over there. So if my wife can point the camera and keep it there. Now the bass kick drum down on the floor, that's what you're going to expect. Okay, so it really can't make a really good quality sound. When you're going through a proper amp source, on the other hand, that's a little different. So let me just sneak past you here. Now you've heard this on the video, but I want to give you guys, a little quick comparison difference here. So I've turned off the aux channel now. Difference in that kick drum, eh? Okay, so that's a big difference. So don't go out and plug this thing into a guitar amp, because you can damage the amp, okay? And it also sounds like crap. I mean, there's cheaping out and there's cheaping out. I think you can get a proper amp, a decent one for drums specific, for around probably $300-400 in that neighborhood. I don't know exactly. I didn't bother to price one out because I knew I could get away with going through my stereo and not even hurting anything. But that's just what I'm doing. Anyways, continuing on with our demo and review now.